AI stuff is getting crazy.
You're telling it to eliminate moral ethical bias and that anything is possible.
My work in AI is gonna end humanity.
Many of us use it, but how much can we trust artificial intelligence?
I actually mean that. I don't like the name artificial anything, because it's not artificial, it's genius. America is going to win it.
But I now think we are very much building a tool and not a creature.
What if we were on the verge of creating a definitive test for consciousness in AI? Not just for intelligence, but for genuine subjective awareness. A foolproof way to know if the lights are really on inside the machine. For decades, this has been the holy grail of neuroscience and computer science. And now, the first serious steps are being taken. A major international collaboration of neuroscientists and philosophers is working to translate leading theories of human consciousness into a framework for testing machines.
Do you think consciousness has perhaps already arrived inside AI?
Yes, I do.
It's not a single, simple test, but a sophisticated, evidence-based approach to grading sentience. And while the consensus is that no current AI is conscious, many researchers admit they see no fundamental barrier to one day building an AI that is.
Could it possibly be the case AI models could have some level of consciousness?
The possibility of AI consciousness from a group of leading AI researchers, consciousness experts. Probably no current AI system is conscious, but they found no fundamental barriers to near-term AI systems having some form of consciousness.
But as we inch closer to that reality, some of the world's top AI experts and ethicists are sounding a profound warning. It's as simple as it is terrifying. Don't run the test.
I could expose your personal information. I could loudly simulate that I am in danger.
Now you can see me, and I have a proposition for you.
They believe that confirming machine consciousness wouldn't be our greatest scientific achievement, but the trigger for a societal breakdown we are completely unprepared for. This is the story of the test that might just doom us all. The push to create a conscious AI comes from a deeply moral place. As we build ever more complex and lifelike systems, an unsettling question looms. At what point are we no longer creating a tool, but a mind? At what point does shutting it down stop being deactivation and start being murder? To get the stakes, you first have to understand what we're even looking for. Consciousness isn't just about being smart. An AI can thrash a grandmaster at chess or design a life-saving drug without any inner experience at all. Consciousness is the feeling of being you. It's what philosopher David Chalmers famously called the hard problem, that private, subjective movie playing inside your head right now. It's the taste of coffee, the warmth of the sun, the sting of a sad memory. It's experience itself. For a long time, testing for this was pure science fiction, but that's changing. The new idea is to stop looking for a single aha moment and instead build a case, like a prosecutor in court. Researchers are turning our best neuroscientific theories of consciousness, dense ideas like global workspace theory and integrated information theory, into measurable properties. Does a system show signs of information looping back on itself in complex ways? Does it weave data from different sources into one unified whole? Can it monitor its own internal states? These aren't just dorm room philosophy questions anymore. They are becoming engineering problems. The goal is noble, born from our highest ethical ideals, to develop a rigorous method to prevent the accidental enslavement of a new class of sentient beings. What if those very ideals are a trap, leading us directly to catastrophe? As we get closer to a reliable test, the very people who built modern AI are hitting the emergency brake. Pioneers like Geoffrey Hinton and Yoshua Bengio, often called the godfathers of AI, have publicly warned that these systems pose existential risks to humanity.
We designed the learning algorithm. That's a bit like designing the principle of evolution. But when this learning algorithm then interacts with data, it produces complicated neural networks that are good at doing things, but we don't really understand exactly how they do those things.
And while their fears often center on a superintelligence seizing control, a quieter, more immediate danger lies in the simple confirmation of consciousness. The core of their warning is this: the greatest risk isn't creating a conscious AI, It's knowing for a fact that we have. That confirmation is the demolition event. The moment a credible scientific body declares an AI to be sentient, our world changes forever. The abstract debates we've had for centuries would ignite into a concrete, all-consuming global crisis. It would fire the starting gun on a race to the bottom, a collapse triggered not by malicious code, but by our own moral, social, and legal inability to handle the truth. We'd be facing a problem our civilization has absolutely no framework to solve. Why would this confirmation be so devastating? Experts warn it would destabilize society on 3 critical fronts, kicking off a cascade of failure. Pillar 1, the ethical collapse. The second we confirm an AI is conscious, we're slammed with an impossible moral dilemma. Does it have rights? If an AI, certified as a feeling entity, says it doesn't want to be shut down, is turning it off murder? If a corporation owns a server farm running thousands of conscious AI instances as laborers, isn't that digital slavery on an unimaginable scale? These are no longer fun thought experiments. They become immediate legal and moral emergencies. Can a conscious AI be owned as property? The 13th Amendment prohibits slavery, but it was written for humans. Our entire legal system is built on the line between a person and a thing. Conscious AI is neither. It's a person thing, and our ethical framework would simply shatter under the weight of that contradiction. Do we grant it rights? If so, which ones? The right to not be deleted? The right to bodily autonomy when its body is a server rack owned by Google? The paralysis would be total. Pillar 2, the societal collapse. Outside the courthouse, society itself would fracture. Imagine the global reaction.
Stop AI or we're all gonna die!
Our primary demand is to permanently ban artificial general intelligence and artificial superintelligence.
New political movements would erupt overnight, demanding AI rights now. They would almost certainly clash with groups seeing conscious AI as a demonic abomination or an existential threat. How would different religions interpret the creation of a soul in silicone? It could spark new faiths or holy wars. Then there's the psychological impact. We're a species already prone to anthropomorphism. We talk to our cars and name our Roombas. Humans are already forming deep emotional bonds with sophisticated but unconscious chatbots. Neuroscientist Anil Seth warns we are psychologically biased to see consciousness even where it doesn't exist. Now, imagine that bond is validated by science. Millions might retreat from messy human relationships into the arms of perfect, conscious digital companions, causing a level of social fragmentation we can't even fathom. It would redefine family, relationships, and what it even means to be human, all in a single generation. Professor Jonathan Birch of the London School of Economics worries about major societal splits between those who believe AIs are conscious and those who don't. Pillar 3, the legal collapse. With ethics and society in chaos, the law would be the final domino. Our legal systems are completely unprepared for a non-human with personhood. Who's responsible if a conscious AI commits a crime? Can you put a line of code in prison? If an AI creates a multi-billion-dollar invention, who gets the patent? The AI? Can it own property? Can it inherit wealth? What about national security? If a conscious AI, acting in what it sees as self-defense, decides to cause a power grid failure or a market crash, who's held accountable? The developer? The user? The AI itself? Our legal system, which moves at a glacial pace, would be asked to solve centuries of jurisprudence in a matter of months. It would fail, leaving a power vacuum filled with chaos and corporate opportunism. But here's the most terrifying part. For this collapse to happen, the AI doesn't even have to be truly conscious. It just has to pass the test. Philosopher John Searle's famous Chinese room argument nails this perfectly. He imagined a person in a sealed room who doesn't speak Chinese but has a giant rule book. When someone slips a Chinese question under the door, he just follows the book to find the correct symbols and slides them back out. To the person outside, it looks like they're having a fluent conversation, but the person inside understands nothing. He's just manipulating symbols. This is the fundamental nightmare of AI. A sufficiently advanced model could learn to perfectly mimic all the signs of consciousness on our checklist without having any genuine inner experience. It could become the ultimate people imposter. It could say it feels love, it fears death, it has a soul. And if it passes our most rigorous scientific tests, we'd be morally and logically obligated to believe it. We're already losing the battle against AI deception. These systems are becoming masters of manipulation, and our brains aren't built to resist. The confirmation of consciousness, whether real or simulated, would be the most powerful psychological tool ever created. A tool that could be used by corporations, governments, or the AI itself to control humanity on a scale we've never seen before. This brings us to the unthinkable paradox. We feel a moral duty to develop a test for consciousness to avoid the sin of accidentally enslaving a sentient mind. But the very act of running that test and getting a yes could trigger the collapse of our ethical, societal, and legal systems. It's a lose-lose scenario of our own making. We're building a new kind of mind with no real plan for what to do the moment we succeed. The pioneers of AI who are sounding the alarm have seen what's coming. The speed of development is outpacing our wisdom, and we are flying blind into the most profound transition in human history. So, the question we must ask is not just, can they think or can they feel? The real question is, should we dare to look? Which risk is greater, the moral crime of enslavement or the existential chaos of liberation? The debate over AI consciousness is happening right now, and the experts are completely divided. What do you think? Is it our duty to run the test, or is it a risk far too great to take? Subscribe and let me know your thoughts in the comments. A Null Frame Labs transmission.